Hey everyone, welcome to another $500 strap search. I've got my 500 in singles here. I've already gone through them and pulled what I wanted, and I'll get to those in a minute. But before we get started, let me talk about this week's hint. Normally when you go to a bank and you ask for bills, if you give them 100 and want 100 singles or 500 or whatever the case is, they always want you to have an account, a checking account or a savings account with that particular bank. You can go to other branches of that bank, and that would help expand places that you can get money from. However, I found a new way. I checked one of my credit cards, and rather than mailing off a check to random banks somewhere across the country, I found that that credit card has a local branch. So I was able to go to that local branch and ask if I could pay my credit card there. They had no problem taking my money. So while I was there, I said, well, since I have a credit card through you guys, would you mind if I bought 500 singles? And they had no problem doing that. So now I have an entire new branch that I can get money from. And this particular branch has sites all over in the 3 counties that I work with, so I'll be able to get even more singles from varying locations. So check your credit cards, see where their bank branches are, and who knows, you may have a new resource at hand. On with this week's search. Here's my 500. Went through those. This is what I pulled. Now, I always show this because people who search bills think they're always going to find bills that are extremely rare. And that's not always the case, but there is always something interesting whenever you do go through. The first bill I pulled here, this one is a crisp trinary. Zeros, twos, and sixes are the only digits that are in the number. Did find a number of star notes. This one was a crisp one from Richmond, Virginia. Star note from New York. Fairly low number star note from Chicago. I'll be checking that one against the list. Dallas star note, a little bit rough on that condition. Another Dallas star note. Low number Dallas star note. Too bad it's all washed out. That's could have been a good one. Still check the number. Did find a quad. This one is quad 9s. See, 4 9s in a row right there. 9 block. This one has 5 4s in a row. This one ends in 5 4s. So 5 in a row for that block. And the oldest bill that was in this group, this one was from 1993. I always save any bill prior to the year 2000. Those are getting harder and harder to find. No, it's not in the greatest of shape, but considering how old it is, it shouldn't really be in circulation anymore. The average lifespan of a bill is about 6 to 7 months. So to find this 1993, I'm going to call that successful. Now, one of the things that I wanted to bring up this week is some of the things that are written on a bill. This one here says, this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. You're going to find that on every single $1 bill, $10 bill, $100 bill. That's just standard on the bill. But that wasn't always the case. The first time that they came out with bills this size was 1928. And in 1928, here's a $10 bill from 1928. You can see, first off, that instead of having a letter designating where it's from, it has a number. This one is 7, which is Chicago. That would be a G on any of the other bills. This Federal Reserve here is Atlanta. That's F. That's the 6th letter, so you can see the 6s showing the Federal Reserve, 6s showing the Federal Reserve branch. But like I said, in 1928, when the notes first came out, they used the number instead of the letter. So this one from Chicago today would say G, and in fact, in the serial number itself, the serial number does start with a G, so that's where they got that from. And of course, it's got the 7s as well. The other thing you're going to find in notes from 1928, a series of 1928, let me zoom in on that there so you can see it pretty good, is the inscription. Series of 1928, redeemable in gold on demand at the United States Treasury or in gold or lawful money at any Federal Reserve Bank. So that is just a little bit different than what we've got here on our current bill, which is this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. Now, this was only on the 1928 series as far as the number goes here. 1928, if you find a 1928A, that's going to have a letter. So only the 1928 series has the number, which makes those very easy to spot. And because the 1928A was the first note of this particular size, it's kind of important to be able to spot those. Not only do I have the 10, I also have a 20. Once again, also from Chicago. You can see the 7. G would be what it would normally be, but they were only using the letter as part of the serial number in this case. So you've got a 7. You've got the same redeemable in gold. And well, series of 1928 right here. Series of 1928 right there. And you can see the back of this note here. So that's what I've got this week. This is a 1928 $20 bill and a 1928 $10 bill. Identifying marks, like I said, are those numbers rather than the letters. You can spot those in a heartbeat. These are the first examples of currency in this particular size. The federal government was trying to save money by making the bills smaller compared to the large size horse blankets that you'll see in some of my videos. But in doing that, those were some of the other changes that you're going to see. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you late in the next video.